Okay, so for the sake of monetization, we should avoid any profanity in the early parts of this video, even though most likely it will be bleeped thanks to YouTube's ridiculous policies.
Yeah.
But there is a curse word that I think I should use that should not be bleeped because it needs to be said.
What's that?
And it's an important one. And we're almost to 30 seconds in when we get to the safe point. Okay, here's what I would like to say. Scotty,
Yes.
Fuck you for making me watch this loathsome pile of dreck called Outlander. I have no idea. Can I just go over the reasons why I do not know why we watched this movie?
Well, first we have to do this. Welcome to Worst Movie Ever, our newest show on here.
Welcome to Worst Movie Ever, where we're going to apparently watch not even so bad it's good stuff, I guess, but we're just going to watch stuff that's just a miserable slog.
No, that's not true. We're going to be like Driftwood, but we'll get to that at the end. We'll get to the very end of the video. We'll kind of tell you guys the premise for that. But TJ, go ahead. You have grievances.
Well, I have grievance. I don't understand the selection of this freaking movie is my grievance because it's bad. Yes, it is an awful movie.
It is.
However, usually on a show like this, you watch a movie that's bad, but like has some sort of like, oh, it's outrageously bad. Or it's so bad that it's kind of good. Or it's bad, but there's something about it that sticks out. There is nothing about this movie that sticks out. The only thing that actually kind of is remarkable about this movie is that on no level does it surpass mediocrity. Like so many times you'll watch a movie and it'll be like, it's true. So many times you'll watch a movie and you'll be like, oh, well, you know, it's a terrible movie, but good performance. Terrible movie, but good cinematography. Terrible movie, but wow, what a unique concept. Terrible movie, but awesome special effects. Terrible movie, but great action sequences. Terrible movie, but a lot of cool lines. Terrible movie, but there's no fucking but here. It's just a terrible movie. There's nothing it does well. There's nothing it does better than just like baseline mediocre garbage. All right, Scotty, here's what I want you to do. You disagree with me, apparently.
I disagree with you, yes.
You disagree? Okay. Just tell me what your favorite line is from the movie. What's one of your favorite quotes, one of the characters from the film?
That's actually the very end of the film where they basically, it's the what's her name? I mean, it's such a riveting film and so many, let's see, Freya.
Yeah, remember when What's Her Name said something or another?
I'm bad with names. I'm bad with names.
What a great moment.
I'm bad with names. At the very end, and she's like, you know what? He had a choice to go back to the gods. Or like they sent him to the gods, but you know what? He chose to stay.
So she said, you know what?
Yeah, she said, you know what?
He said, yeah, she said, you know what, 3 times in that line of dialogue. Huh?
Yes, that is exactly how it had played out.
What were her exact words?
I don't know the exact words, man. I'm not good. I'm not good with those exact lines, but I'm telling you, it was a good line, man.
I mean, I'm not a line quoting guy. You've known me long enough to know that I'm not constantly spewing movie lines all over the place. But like, if you see a movie that's worth anything in terms of the dialogue, you're probably going to have at least 1 or 2 lines that you can summon forth, you know?
You know what movie was really good about that? Was Gladiator.
Like, you think about Pulp Fiction. How many lines can you quote? I mean, there's so many. There's so many lines. Gladiator, yeah. You know, the whole, I can't remember the exact
signal,
speech.
Unleash hell.
At my signal, unleash hell.
I am Maximus,
you know,
the Simius, whatever his name is.
Father to a murdered son. Husband to a murdered wife, whatever that. I mean, I don't remember the exact words, but like, I remember that.
And I will have my
basic
vengeance.
Structure of it, you know?
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
Yeah, well, you know the moment, and everyone knows what you're talking about.
How long has it been since I saw that movie? I've not seen Gladiator for like a decade or more.
Oh wow, not me. I probably watch Gladiator like every 2 or 3 years.
It's not one of those movies for me. It was a good movie, but it's not one I revisit a lot. So it's been a long time, and I still remember lines from that flick.
You can still remember the performances from that movie.
Yeah, I remember how great Russell Crowe is in that movie. I remember how great Joaquin Phoenix is in that movie.
Oh, great. As Commodus.
I remember the dude who played Marcus Aurelius. I don't remember what actor it was. But I remember really liking him.
Richard Harris, DJ.
Yeah,
Maximus.
the late Richard Harris, right?
Maximus.
Great freaking actor.
He was. Richard Harris was an amazing actor.
He was like, wasn't he the first Dumbledore?
Oh, yes, he was.
And then they replaced him with that other guy that like was not so good.
Michael Gambon, yeah.
Harry. I heard recently that dude was like, I don't need to read these books before I do this because I don't need to know.
There's actually a really good.
Like, and I was kind of like, maybe you should have read those books because you didn't really do the character all that good.
Ever seen the movie Layer Cake?
Yes. No. Well, no, I have not seen it, but I know of it.
It's Daniel Craig and Michael Gambon is in the movie. Terrific movie. I recommend it to anyone, by the way.
Yeah.
Before he was James Bond and everything else. One of my actually favorite kind of just like more indie.
I know the ending of Layer Cake. And I know that I don't want to spoil it because it is a shocking ending, but
awesome ending. It's one of those endings that like you're like, endings always suck, which is like a pole position, but like when I actually am pretty much simpatico with him, like I agree with him for the most part. Most endings suck.
Well,
that is not a bad ending.
The ending in that movie, like I have not seen the movie, but like I know how it was constructed and how it was built up to that point. And
look,
wow.
I recommend a terrible movie. You already know of it. Watch that full movie, and it is even more impactful.
I know. I mean, maybe I'll put that on one of these nights. One Daniel Craig movie I've been thinking about revisiting lately is Skyfall. Anyway, we're not talking about Daniel Craig. We need to talk about Outlander, this horrible piece of garbage.
It's not greatest movie ever. It's worst movie ever.
I don't understand. Why did you... I want to know your motivation here. This is the thing. Before we even start talking about synopsis or anything like that, I want to know why the hell you watched this movie and were like, I got to make content out of this thing, because it doesn't scream that to me.
I get you. I feel you on that. Well, I'll tell you what happened. We'll go back a little bit.
Did you watch this in a hostage situation? Like you had to watch this for some reason, like
no.
Okay.
So I'll say this. I get a call at 1:22 in the morning, and I'm like, who the fuck is calling me right now? And it's TJ, and TJ's like just apoplectic. He's like, Scotty, why the hell you picked your movie? The movie's fucking boring. The movie's mediocre. Man, I don't get it, man. I don't get it, Scotty. What's wrong with you? This don't make any sense to me, Scotty. Scotty, something wrong with you, man. And I'm like, all right, TJ. All right, TJ. It's like, all right. I'm gonna finish it, but man, 1 hour in this movie sucks. Bye. I'll explain.
Luckily, after that hour, it got way. No, it didn't. It got way worse. That movie was just okay. Yeah, explain. I think I might get it upon reflection, but I want to hear if my speculation is correct.
So I was at Mom and Steve's house. Yujiro was like, it was right around the time Yujiro was having his surgery and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god. I'm so stressed out about everything in my life. I'm just like, oh, I just can't, I'm just so worried. I'm filled with just worry and dread. Everything else all these emotions are going on. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, Mom and Steve have gone to bed. I can watch whatever I want to watch. I'd smoked, a ridiculous amount of weed. And I'm like, what the fuck is this movie Outlander? So I put this movie on as I'm like falling asleep. There's a scene in that movie right at the beginning where he goes through, he time travels or whatever. He goes through time. Or whatever the MacGuffin is or plot thing is, and he lands in the water, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I get it. It's like a fish out of water movie. And then literally the next scene is it hits the water, and then fish come out of the water. And I'm like, what? And I realize it's kind of be one of the most contrived, paint by the numbers movie you'll see of all time. And it is. Like, it really is. Like, it's a movie that'll make you feel psychic because you can predict everything before it happens. So yeah. It's like it's good in that respect. I don't know why.
Dude, I don't mean to boast or anything, but I know enough about story structure that I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen in most films that I'm watching. Unless there is someone at the helm that's like trying to thwart people like me, in which case it'll be a little harder, but a lot of times I can still figure it out. You have to like really throw a lot of curveballs at me for me to be like, oh shit. Now, obviously, a movie that's just totally random garbage could beat me, but it would be at the end result would be gibberish. So to make like a coherent story and not be something that I'm going to find super predictable is pretty hard to do. But this movie, I don't care. I mean, if you've ever seen a movie before, you can pretty much know exactly. I mean, the second the movie started, no, fuck that. The second that I read the synopsis, I could have told you the ending of the damn movie.
Which we have it here. During the reign of the Vikings, Canaan, a man from a far-off world, crash lands on Earth, bringing with him an alien predator known as the Morrowind. Though both man and monster are seeking revenge for violence committed against them, Canaan leads the Alliance to kill the Morrowind by fusing his advanced technology with the Vikings' Iron Age weaponry.
By the way, not even really all that accurate of a synopsis. But here's the thing. Here was my theory. So I was wrong about why. Apparently, you watched it and you just said, whoa, it's like a fish out of water story. And then you saw a fish out of water and you're like, whoa. And then you're like, that was it. That was the moment that cemented this movie for you. But
and I watched the movie from like 3 o'clock in the morning to about 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I really don't know why I didn't enjoy it. Like, I think it kind of numbed me to reality because it was so bad that I had something else to like focus on instead of the shit I was going through. So I guess in a way the movie was helpful to me. It was like catharsis, and I guess in a sense.
What a magical role it could serve in your. So here's the thing that I found. Here's my basic theory. Okay. It's totally wrong apparently, but when we were watching it, I was watching it with Chelsea and Corey was like, this is like something I would like have to watch at my grandpa's house. This is like I go to my grandpa's house.
Oh my God, so true.
Yeah, I go to my grandpa's house and there's just like a movie on and it's that. And we just sit there and watch it for some reason.
Hey, a sport. Want to watch Outlander? It's a good flick.
I told him like, yeah, this is like something I would see over at my mom and Steve's house. It'd be like something I would go over there and they'd be watching. And I'd be like, what's this? And they're like, oh, it's Outlander. He's like a spaceman, but he's landed in Viking times. Like, oh. And then I'd sit there and watch it for like a minute and a half and be like, this is terrible.
I think also my inspiration behind this too was I just didn't want to start with a movie that I think everyone would see coming, that like everyone had already seen a million times. We all know it's garbage. It's just too obvious. And I'm not saying I don't want to do obvious movies on this show for sure. But I kind of want to start off with this just because I don't know. It just called to me to be reviewed. I hadn't really seen anyone review it either.
You know what? I kind of feel you on that because when I've looked up reviews of this thing, like, yeah, obviously critics and shit didn't like it very much. But like a lot of people are just like, mediocre. And then there's actually a pretty sizable contingent of people that are like, pretty good movie, actually.
And those people are going to like rip us a new asshole.
And
sure.
I saw one dude like making all these excuses for why it didn't do well. Like, oh man, well, you know, probably didn't have great marketing behind it. Probably didn't know. Guess what, guy? None of that's the reason. The reason is it's freaking garbage. It's a steaming pile of hot goddamn garbage is what it is. So there's no reason that it should have done well. It's awful.
Not at all.
Like I said, okay, there's so many movies I think are awful that I could still I could pay them some kind of freaking compliment.
Give the devil his due, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, okay, Transformers sucks, but
spectacle.
I mean, obviously there is a certain element of spectacle and, some special effects that are interesting in some respects. And
it's always
some
cool.
Of the action sequences are pretty effective.
Well, think about this. There's like, I can give you a line from that Transformers. Autobots, let's roll. Boom.
Yeah.
You have, you have some good characters. Megatron in the first one is a pretty good villain. I mean, it's
right.
cool to see. I mean, Optimus Prime. It was
cool to hear the classic Optimus Prime voice doing the voice still. It was. Great
giant robots fighting is always cool. It's always fun.
Yeah, and I mean,
on a basic level.
I think sometimes the way they do the special effects, it looks muddled. So I do have some criticisms of the visual effects, but I can admit the visual effects are, technically speaking, on a pretty high up level. It's really the art design and the directing that I don't like.
The story,
but the effects themselves, very good. But that's the thing. That doesn't do much for me. I don't think it does much to elevate that picture, but at least it's something. At least it's something I can point to like, that was done well. This movie, there's nothing.
Let's talk about some of the characters in the movie.
There were none.
Oh, what are you talking about? Teaching
Conversation over. There's no characters in this movie.
So this is Jim Caviezel as Kanan, an alien warrior. Look how alien he looks.
So
he looks quite alien.
About halfway through this movie, I had a realization about Jim Caviezel.
What's that?
He is so devoid of anything even vaguely resembling charisma that the moment he is off the screen, I forget he exists. Like, if his character had just disappeared halfway through the movie, it would probably have taken me a half hour to freaking notice. Like, he is, this guy does not have protagonist energy. He does not have main character energy.
All right. You know, actually, I have production notes I pulled from Wikipedia. Because,
this dude is like a dude who should be playing. He should be playing like a guard that gets knocked out in the beginning of the movie. He should not be the main character. I don't know how he ever got cast as anything ever. He is a terrible actor. He has no charisma. I've never seen him give a good performance. He sucks. And honestly, after watching this movie, I kind of want to watch The Passion of the Christ just so I can watch him suffer.
So in May 2005, the Weinstein Company announced the addition of the project, I'm talking about Outlander, to its distribution slate with Howard McCain as the director. At the time, Carl Urban was in talks to star in the film, but Jim Caviezel emerged as the lead.
You know what,
Carl,
you know that means Carl Urban read the script and was like, "Oh, you guys don't have a script."
Yeah, Carl Urban was just too smart, and Carl Urban's been in some shit. Don't get me wrong.
That script was like a placeholder script.
It was.
I mean, I've seen, if I fucking gave an AI right now a basic synopsis of like what I want it to do with this movie, and it just generated a script procedurally, it would be, not only could it do this script, it could do better. I think there would actually be more flavor and color and intrigue to the AI generated script than there is to the script for this film. There is no line that is ever uttered by a single character that couldn't be just as easily said by any other character. You know what I mean? Like, there's no character voices to any of the writing. These characters are all just like, they just say exposition. The closest thing anyone has to any sort of character in the entire movie is the bald dude who likes mead. That's basically his entire character, by the way.
Boromir, I think is his name. I remember because
he's the most developed character. And then I think to myself,
arguably, yeah, he kind of is.
And then I think to myself, this movie is 2 hours long. How are its characters all so underdeveloped? I guess John Hurt gave a better performance than was even warranted by what was going on in the freaking movie.
That's just he was a good actor. That's why.
I mean, but like, it's John Hurt, so he could read the phone book and it would sound okay.
Oh yes, I'll read that.
I guess he's dead now, right?
Yeah, John Hurt passed away like 5 years ago.
So he's not hurt anymore.
Yeah, he's not hurting anymore.
Now he's dead.
John dead.
Yeah.
This is Freya. She
sucked.
Wow, what a total portrayal of basically the beginning character. Her beginning character development is like she's tough. She's literally fighting with her father. Like the first scene.
They literally changed her character midway through the movie with no explanation whatsoever. Like, she starts off like,
tough.
I'm a tough, independent woman.
I'm a damsel in distress.
And then she just turns into like a dainty damsel for the rest of the movie after that. And it's like, why? Why'd you even have that opening scene? And there's certain parts of the movie where she looks distractingly like Princess Fiona from Shrek, because she's got the red hair and she's wearing like pretty much the exact same green dress. So that was distracting as hell. And I can't remember a single thing she said in the movie. The thing I do remember, her name is Freya, but only because I had a cat named that once, kind of. I mean, it wasn't really my cat, but it was just like a stray cat that I named and fed a little bit.
In defense of any of these actors in this movie, just like you said, they're just, everyone's super generic. She gets,
there's no script.
Yeah,
she gets developed.
She has like just a total character shift in the beginning, like we said. I mean, like at first she's like strong. She's little, like I said, she's fighting in the hall with John Hurt's character. Like
the first time
I'm not going to marry anybody. I'm not. So you think she's like okay, she's like that. She's like the princess.
The first time she sees the main character guy, whose name I've already forgotten again, by the way, Kanan. Oh yeah, you know how I can a mnemonic device. Well, I'll get to it later, I guess. But she's terrible because She has, I mean, for the same reason everyone else is, but she's terrible. That's all I have to say. I don't know. I don't even need to extrapolate more on it.
This dude's name is
I hate this dude's stupid
Wulfric.
face.
Wulfric.
Yeah, Wulfric, dude. So Wulfric was honestly distractingly a pretty boy. Put him up on the screen so people can see this shit. This guy, like, it's not super clear here, but like in a lot of scenes, it was very clear that like this guy's eyebrows had been fussed over.
Yes.
Like his brows had been plucked and shaped, and everything about him just looked like you could like the makeup was caked on thick. Like there was times when you could clearly see the mascara. There was times when you could clearly see, like, he just looked way too pretty to be a freaking Viking.
Have you seen the show Boardwalk Empire?
No.
That's actually the first time I saw this guy. I think his name is Jack Huston, I believe is his name.
Okay.
And he actually plays a World War I veteran, and half of his face is like blown off. So he has like a weird prosthetic. So
how does he do in that?
I think he's actually fine in that role. Like, I think
is he good? I mean, because I don't. Yeah. I mean, based on this movie being the only thing I remember seeing him in, he's awful. But everyone's awful in this.
Yeah, no one can be saved in this. Yeah, he's just kind of also just very generic. I mean, his motive.
Dude, I remember at the end of the movie, I paused it for a second. I just looked over at Chelsea, like, Chelsea, why don't you tell me what your favorite attribute of Wulfric is? Tell me a little bit about Wulfric. Tell me literally anything about Wulfric as a character. And she just kind of sat there in silence and like thought about it, and then she was kind of like, I don't think she ever even answered. She never even gave me an answer. And you know what? I wanted to jump in and be like, I remember something about him, but I couldn't either. Like, other than he's like too pretty to be a Viking.
You know, okay, the only scenes I actually remember him doing anything that's like, as a character, he really badly wants to be the king after John Hurt's character is dead. And like,
sure,
that's clear. And they play that weird shield game where they jump from shield to shield, and he's good at that. He's good at some random weird Viking.
That scene, it baffled me. I gotta be honest.
I know that's out of nowhere, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll talk scenes in a minute. We're talking characters now, right?
Yeah. But overall, yeah, he's just forgettable. Now this is probably the best performance in the movie, but that's because I said it's John Hurt.
John Hurt. Like I said, he could read the phone book, and it'd be interesting enough. He just has like a very soulful quality, and I mean, God bless him for really bringing his A game to something that is just trash. I don't know why he bothered. I don't know. I guess he must have got a pretty decent little paycheck from it. He's in more of this movie than you would think he'd be in.
Yeah, and he actually does a lot of the physical acting too. And obviously, like, there's some sword fighting stuff. There's a stunt double is going to step in for him. But I mean, at this point, he's like 60 some years old. I mean, he's an older guy.
There was a lot of athletic stuff that you saw that he did do himself.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And he was doing some impressive sword fighting and stuff, especially in that there's only, I think, one scene where you really see it on display very much, but he did some good work, and he emoted well. I mean, but at the end of the day, you can't really call it a great performance because there's not great material there to support it. Like,
I mean, yeah,
an actor can only bring so much to a script, and like, if anything in this movie comes close to breaking out, it's probably John Hurt's performance, but it's way too bogged down.
There's too little of it. I mean, he's also a supporting actor in this. He's not supposed to be carrying the film, and he's basically doing a thing of like, as an older actor, he's carrying this entire production. But he can't be the character because these other younger actors are supposed to step in and save the day. But he's not supposed to do that.
I want to emphasize, I don't hold the actors too responsible for this, because there's just, I mean, when you're given a script like that, there's only so much you can do. The only one I kind of hold anything against him is Jim Caviezel, because I just don't think he's leading man material.
Oh, I completely agree with you.
I feel like he's just, now maybe, I mean, look, I'm open to my mind being changed if there's some role that he shines in, but to me, he is just a blank slate, devoid of a soul, devoid of any sort of character whatsoever. It seems like the only time you ever see him cast anything is just when, like, we need a guy who's stoic.
Yeah.
Like, all right, good. Well, You know, like stoicism only works if a character can play stoicism with enough intensity that you could tell there's like so much boiling beneath the surface. But there's nothing boiling beneath this dude's surface. It's all surface.
Yep. See here, see what like he looks like a blank slate here, and he is. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, is there I mean, what else has Jim Caviezel done? Has he done something else that I should be aware of that might be like, oh, wow.
All right. So movies I remember Jim Caviezel in. All right. This one, Passion of the Christ.
Sure. That's the two I know.
What's that movie? Escape Plan with Arnie and Stallone. He's the warden.
Okay. He was the warden.
Yeah, he was like the evil warden in that.
Okay.
Which I actually think was a good fit for like a role for him, because that's someone I kind of expect to be bland and very uptight. Which is like, if you put him in a role like there's certain roles that I think he can play.
I have zero recollection.
The Count of Monte Cristo. The Count of Monte Cristo. He did. He was in that one.
What was he in that?
He was the guy that was imprisoned. What's his name?
Was he? Okay.
I'm trying to remember the character's name.
I guess I remember liking that. Okay. So maybe that's his good movie. I don't know.
Yeah, he's okay in that. But for the most part, that's all. Honestly, that's all I really remember him in. And you know, to be honest, besides the Count of Monte Cristo, I don't think he really stood out in any of those roles. I mean, Passion of the Christ, it's like he just gets the shit beat out of him for 2 hours.
Yeah, I have no.
You know, it's like an Escape Plan. I mean, whatever. I mean, I think he was decent in it, but I mean, I don't think it would have mattered who would play that role. To be honest with you,
I don't remember him. I mean, I don't remember him in that. I know he's coming back for Passion 2 or something now, so maybe he'll have a resurgence. But
get some points for Mel Gibson on that one, Jim. Get some points on the film.
Passion of the Christ is a terrible movie.
And of course,
but at least I can say there is some artistry to it. I mean, like there's stuff it does well. It's not terrible in the same way this thing is. Here's
the most baffling casting choice of them all for this one.
This was so bizarre. I mean, Ron Perlman is a good actor.
Yes.
Ron Perlman is not a bad actor. He's not great.
And
he's not transcendently good, but like when you see Ron Perlman, you know what Ron Perlman really is? He livens up a movie. Even in a terrible movie, Ron Perlman kind of is an intriguing presence, like Alien 4. He was in that. And he's, you know, it's this weird French movie with a botched screenplay and just like a terrible, I mean, it's like ridiculous piece of garbage. Ron Perlman's in it, and you know what? He chews the scenery, and he's fun to be around. And he's kind of like a little light spot in an otherwise terrible movie.
Oh, so, yeah, the interplay between him and Ripley is great. Like, he actually is one of the only characters that stands out besides just being some generic, like, mercenary bad, like, I'm a badass.
Yeah,
like,
he plays it with some kind of personality and humor and stuff. And when I heard he was in this movie, he's not in there very early on. Like, he's like introduced kind of late and taken out kind of surprisingly early. So
and it's like, not Ron Perlman. It's not really him in the role. There's no personality to this performance. This is a totally phoned in.
You could have just got any random generic actor off the street and they would have done the same job he did. He didn't bring any charm to this role. I guess he just knew it was dog shit and just didn't care. And you're just like, this is just a total paycheck. I'm going to phone it right on in.
And it's strange. I've never seen him do that in a role until this movie. Like, I've always been like, that's Ron Perlman. But you're right. In this one, he might as well be generic chieftain.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was trying to go for a certain thing and he just didn't get it. Maybe there was like an attempt and but like to me, it really seems like phoned in, or he was poorly directed, or maybe he just was not feeling it and just was totally there for the check. I don't know.
And it looks cool.
I've never seen Ron Perlman. I mean, yeah, like they gave him a decent appearance and stuff. Like
he wields these two like war hammers. I mean, he like, as far as the way he looks, I like the look of the character.
I mean, yeah, they gave him a cool aesthetic and they gave him something to do with the role. I mean, like he could have done something with this, you know, like he could have found some way to make this character work. I don't know if maybe he was sabotaged. Maybe like some of the stuff he wanted to do with it didn't pan out. I don't know what the explanation is, but all I can tell you is the end result is he's listless and
it's a crap movie. It's a crap movie. It was done quick. He probably had to shoot his scenes fast. He probably had other movies. Like, he probably barely remembers this project. I almost guarantee you it's one of those things where like I'm gonna
go look up if Ron Perlman has ever talked about this movie.
If not, I would love to ask him about it. I don't know if I ever have a chance to interview him, but that would probably be my first question. It's like, hey, you did this movie Outlander, right? Like, why did you suck in this movie? like you normally don't suck in movies. This one you do. I just feel like there's none of his charm. Like, he's a character actor, man. But it's like, what kind of characters you want him to play.
the thing about Ron Perlman is he's been in a lot of dog shit.
But he always,
every time I've ever seen him appear in something like this, he's always been the bright spot. And in this, that bulb is out. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've seen him do performances after this that I thought were good. I was like, I don't get it. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think this was like he shot this for a week. Like he flew. I think actually they did this in Nova Scotia, so it was like they did it some remote location. But that's basically what I have as far as the characters. There's other characters in the movie, but those are the ones I give.
I have, I cannot find a single thing he's ever said about this film.
He probably barely remembers this. I mean, this is probably a week of his life, and he got paid like $300,000 or $400,000.
I hope he was paid well.
He probably at least got like $500,000 to $1 million to do this movie. There's no other way he would do it.
I'd be curious to go find out what sort of his screen time ends up being in the movie, because it seems like he's barely in it too. So
now we're at the discussion part of it.
All right. So now we're talking about, I guess, like the plot parts.
Yeah, we'll talk about the plot of it. Like I said, so
how do we approach this? Do we
Jim Caviezel is an alien. He crash lands. No, here's one of my favorite scenes. If we're gonna start, so he crash lands, right? He's got his alien technology. His buddy that's been hunting this thing with him. He's dead, so he's a non-entity.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, I gotta learn. So he figures out where he's at in the world and like where he's at the time period. He has a machine that's really bad CGI that he looks into, and it's like, know Old Norse. You get to see like a weird, almost Lawnmower Man-esque scene where it's like all like his brain and the synapses are working.
The first time I watched that scene, I freaking had to go back. I was like, did I miss something? And I didn't. No, it really was just edited that way. It's like edited in a way that makes you feel like you've missed some crucial piece of information, but it just didn't give it to you.
That's actually a really good point. This we can bring up really briefly is that the editing in this movie is so inconsistent, so choppy, and there's some serious continuity errors in it.
The editing in this movie, on most levels, this movie is just kind of mediocre, which in a way, I hate mediocrity worse than I hate bad.
Yeah, it's not schlock. It's not good. It's like there was potential for it. It had a good cast. Because here's the thing. With a lot of mediocre movies or shitty movies, they don't have a good cast. You can say, oh, well, the cast sucked. And I don't think the cast here really is that bad.
But one thing that definitely was below mediocre, other than the script, which is that's just
the script's in the fucking toilet.
The script sunk this movie, to be honest with you. It definitely.
Have you seen the movie Trainspotting?
No.
Okay. Well, there's
everyone hates that I haven't seen that, but
okay. Well, let me tell you where the script is. There's a scene where this guy is trying to get off heroin, and when you do that, obviously when you stop taking, you have to shit, and he finds what's called the most disgusting bathroom in Scotland. It's about as disgusting as you think, and he literally goes inside the toilet as part of the surrealism of the film. And that's what they did with this script. They went inside the nastiest toilet in Scotland. They just went all in. They went fucking diving,
dude. Yeah, the script is terrible, but a close second for the worst thing about this movie is probably the editing.
Oh, it's awful.
The editing in this movie is wretched. There's literally several scenes where you feel as if you've missed something, and then you go back and look, and you just discover no, it was just never shown.
It's incoherent. The movie is largely incoherent in spots of it. The way the action is filmed and the way it's presented as a final product is confusing. You're often, like TJ said, if you watch this movie, you're literally going to rewind it and be like, "What happened? Did I miss?"
I've never had to rewind a movie so many times, because there's just something. It's not like it's always complete gibberish and incoherency, but just every once in a while, something will happen where you're like, "What?" And you go back and you look at it again, and you're like, "That doesn't make any sense." There's a scene where the Henry Cavill guy, Kanan or whatever.
Henry Cavill.
Sorry.
Jim
Caviezel. I always get those.
You're wishing it was Henry Cavill or someone that could actually do something.
But Jim Caviezel fucking goes up to Wolfborn, whatever the hell his name is. Anyway,
Wolfric.
And he's like, you got to stop thinking with this. And he grabs at him. And it's unclear whether he tried to grab his sword or he tried to grab his dick or his balls or
when
what.
I saw that, I assumed he meant like his dick.
But yeah, I mean, it does seem like that. But when you say someone's thinking with their dick, that usually means they're like a pussy hound, like they're a poon hound, and they're trying to get you got too much, you got sex on the brain too much. But like that wasn't supported by any of the context at all. It seemed like he was saying you're foolhardy and you're too prone to go into danger or whatever. But like that doesn't guarantee you, like that has nothing to do with your dick.
This is one of those projects they filmed a lot of different scenes and they just cobbled this movie together. So I'll give you a perfect example of this. So he lands, he's given the knowledge of Old Norse, like because he lands in basically the fucking Iron Age. Like, oh no, I can talk to Nordic people.
Yeah.
And it's like, so he has like a gun, right? And he's going through the woods.
By the way, on that thing, sorry, I'll let you get back to the gun in a second, but I just want to say it makes no sense that computer knows how to speak Norse. It doesn't, how does it know that?
Yeah, how would it ever have known that? It does. But it makes no sense.
It never establishes that this civilization knows about our world, but I guess you have to, that's pretty much the only explanation. You have to just say they've studied us before, but it's never explicitly explained, so I'm just gonna go with that explanation.
Many things in this movie, it's not explained. Okay, but anyway, so this guy's from the future. He has, or not from the future, but he has a more advanced civilization. He obviously has he's a soldier. He's got training. He's got all this stuff. And so he takes his gun. He's like, I'm gonna hunt this thing. I'm gonna hunt this Morrowind down. He encounters the local villagers, and literally he gets snuck up on by a horse. They knock the gun out of his hands. And it falls into the scene where they show it go down the hill. It falls into a river, and it's like, yep, that's it. The gun is gone. And it's like, wait a minute. So he's supposed to save them. They snuck up on a horse that was galloping at him. He loses his weapon. It's like, okay, so your first thought's like, okay, how are they gonna beat this thing? The only guy had a gun or anything advanced enough to kill it. Like, they just lost it.
Well, here's another thing too. Here's the thing that really sucks about that scene in particular. So this dude crash lands on the planet. He has his gun. He shoots a tree for no reason. I guess just to check the gun is still working.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, I was actually going to bring that up. The scene where he shoots the tree, I'm like, what the fuck did the tree do? Like, in my mind, literally, I was like, he looked at it, he's like, fuck this forest.
Yeah, he shoots a tree randomly. The tree explodes. And
you're like, it's badass.
But I mean, the real reason it was done was to show you that the gun is cool.
Exactly.
But why show me the gun is cool when he's literally going to lose it and it's never going to be seen again one scene later? Like, why did you establish, hey, look how cool this gun is? You'll never see it again. That gun exists to blow up a tree and then be lost. And
dude, look at that. It's like they put some really buxom woman. Oh yeah, and it's like, I'm gonna go take a bath, and you're like, oh my god, bath scene, and it's like it just never shows up. It's like, what the fuck, movie? The movie is a cock tease like that. Anything cool in it, you're like, oh, that's gonna be really cool.
Let me tell you something, Scotty.
It's lame or non-existent.
Let me tell you what my thought was when that gun went splashing into the pond and just vanished. I guess because. Yeah, guns get carried away on currents. They don't sink to the bottom or anything. They just roll down the river.
Down the river. Yep, it's down the river now.
But here's the thing about that scene with that gun. At that exact moment, I was like, why is this dude from space then? Like, what reason is there for him to be from space? There's no reason for him to be from space. He literally never uses his advanced technology again after that moment.
Because he brought the monster too, remember?
Yeah, but you could have just as easily been like, there's a monster from a far off land that, well, he could have easily been
because
from another continent or whatever the hell. I guess they were trying to make it plausible by making it an alien or whatever.
Well, you're forgetting this. There's a subplot to this movie. There's we have to do plot set. There's a subplot buried within the main storyline about this guy and these villagers facing down this beast.
Right.
Which is, why did he come from that world? which is basically told in flashbacks. And the flashbacks are, they hunted these things down. We destroyed their world. And not to mention, make a more sympathetic monster. So you find out that these subplot.
Dude, I mean, once you find out the subplot of where this monster comes from, instantly
they did monster genocide. It was monster genocide.
Like, the monster, quote unquote, was just an animal that had a whole planet full of these animals that were just like chilling and living in peace and harmony when like this dude's alien race that looks identical to humanity just shows up and blows up the whole planet.
Imperialism. This will be ours. Thanks.
Like, we're supposed to be like, oh man, I feel so bad for him and not the monster. I mean, the monster, quote unquote, is the fucking hero of the movie. And but they give it this really super sympathetic backstory, but then
but it killed his family.
Yeah, but they never treat it sympathetically again after that. It's like, oh man, the monster actually was kind of my fault that it was created. Anyway, let's kill it because it's evil.
He tells the story to Freya. There's a scene where they're talking. And he tells her the story. It's like, you don't because of plot, she magically falls in love with Kanan. Like, she sees Kanan and she's like, oh.
Which, by the way, also the very moment her character appears on screen, it's like, she's gonna fall in love with the alien. He's gonna become the king. Blah 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 blah. You know.
So he makes this speech, which is like, I basically genocided and destroyed. I mean, I guess lucky Viking chicks that maybe that turns them on or something. He's like, I destroyed their race. I pretty much deserve my fate, everything that I did. And she's all like, here's a badass sword. You had to do what you had to do. It's like, no, I didn't. I'm a piece of shit.
I killed them. All of them. Not just the men, but the women too.
And the children.
It's okay, Anakin. I'll still blow you.
Yeah,
it was literally just a repeat of that moment. But you know what? It's given me a new appreciation for how George Lucas handled that scene, because of the two scenes I know of where a person confesses genocide and then immediately gets laid afterwards.
Yeah, that movie.
Star Wars did it better. That's all I can say.
Dude, there's hope for anybody. When you hear that, it's like, oh man, that dude, she's definitely gonna be disappointed for that. She's all like,
I don't know why there's two scenes in cinematic history where a dude is like, I killed a whole race of people for no good reason because I'm pretty much evil. And then the supposedly nice girl is like, that's okay. I still like you. It's like, what the hell? Why are there two movie scenes that involve that, but the other one's in this movie? So,
you get away with it. You can get away with it. So, Kanan is brought to the village after he's easily, defeated by the basically barbarians, the Vikings. Like, they easily they disarm him. Like I said, his gun's in the river. They bring him to town.
I call it the John Wick effect. It's basically like a character that is otherwise shown to be invincible has a moment of vulnerability early on in the story just so the plot can happen.
Yes, that is 100% correct. He's brought to the village. Of course, they don't trust him. There's been weird things going on because the Morwen's been attacking villages and people and, preying on the Vikings in the area. So they blame him, and they're like, oh, we don't know what's going on. We don't trust you, though. And they basically, he tries to escape. He's unsuccessful. And finally, John Hurt's character, the king's like, bring him before me. We're going to find out what the hell is going on. Our village was attacked.
Oh, by the way, it was so stupid. This dude shows up. He's like, I'm hunting dragons. And then a dragon pretty much shows up.
And they're like, nuh-uh.
Destroys the village. And then they lock him up on some chains. And then apparently don't ask him anything until 12 hours later when it's the next day. It's
by the way,
I feel like there would be an immediate intense interrogation of that person right after the village was nearly destroyed.
No. They interrogate him for a few minutes, tries to escape, they knock him out. He, of course, is that. From that scene, he manages to get his way free. He meets Freya. She helps him out for a minute. And he said, the village is attacked.
Let's not forget that very important scene where he's, he's all chained up, and then some random little kid that doesn't mean jack shit to the plot of the movie shows up and tries to give him some bread, but then
then they abruptly cut away from it. It's like, here's some bread, and then someone kicks out of his hand.
Someone kicks the bread out of his hand and is like, hey, go see the king. And see that kid again a few times, but he never does anything in the plot. He doesn't matter.
The only thing he matters at the end is like, we adopted him.
Who
Like,
cares?
okay, yeah.
Who gives a rat's ass? No one cares.
So basically, the king is all like, "What the hell is going on here? You know, you got to tell us something." He's like, "All right, look, this is what I know." He tells him the whole story, like they do, you know, they hunted, like we hunted them, blah blah blah. He doesn't really go into the details about genociding them all. He kind of leaves that part of it out. Just like, I brought this here with me. Oh, damn you! Of course, they're Vikings, so they're not really convinced with his story, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go hunt him."
By the way, an aside about the Vikings and shit is these Vikings, apparently there was no agreement on set about what a Viking accent should sound like.
Not at all. No.
So pretty much everyone talks with a different variant of like an English accent. And like it just makes, there's no consistency. At one point, someone says arse, and I'm like, are they Irish? And sometimes they sound Irish, and sometimes they sound British, and sometimes they sound Cockney British, and sometimes they just have like American voices, and it's like there's no consistency, there's no accent in this movie.
Yeah, it's like John Hurt is the only one that gets away with it just because of the fact he's got a cool voice. Everyone else is like, you're right, it's just all over the place. Ron Perlman, I think, is kind of like rough.
Yeah,
American.
I don't even think he does an accent. I think he just kind of goes like,
bleh. I think he puts on a little something, but it's just weird.
Maybe a twang. I don't remember, honestly.
So they're gonna go out.
They're gonna go hunt the monster.
Yeah, that's the solution. We're gonna hunt this monster down.
A bunch of the dudes think it's a bear, even though it literally like burned down half the village. They still just think like probably a bear. It's like, what? Are you stupid?
I'm pretty sure it's a dragon. Bear dragon, right? Oh, dude. So, when they actually encounter the bear,
dude, it was when I realized like there's no way that because this is where we should, I guess, talk about this. They claim that they spent $47 million on this movie.
Yeah. As a reputation,
there is no goddamn. Go watch the scene where they fight this bear.
Oh, we're gonna put it up, yeah, guys. We're gonna show you right now. Like, go ahead and look at
literally. There is like a freaking stuffed bear in the darkness. You could tell that's what you're looking at is like one of those big stuffed bears, and like they basically like don't show you anything. They just show a bunch of freaking like shaky cam in the pitch black. Puppet. And they occasionally show you like a piece of a bear, or they show you a dude's face, or they show you a sword swinging, but like it's just a mess. And it's pretty clear they could not afford a real bear. They couldn't afford to CG a bear. So it's just like they go into a cave, and then there's a bunch of freaking the camera pans around incoherently, and then they come out with a bear carcass, and then all of a sudden they love Kanan, I guess.
Because he saved the king. That's the whole the whole conceit is the king was about to be killed by the bear.
See,
and Kanan jumps in.
I didn't realize that he'd done anything special until after when they started liking him. They're like, Kanan, we love Kanan.
Oh, I knew that. No, I called that.
I guess he must have done something in the cave because like I didn't see it.
It's so hard to see, but like I've watched the movie twice. I watched it like this morning before we did the review. You can see in that scene that. I guess it's supposed to be Kanan stabs the bear. Like the bear's like, he pushes John Hurt's character. It all happens so fast. He shoves him into a wall, and then Kanan jumps out and like stabs the bear with the sword.
Yeah, it was shot as such a mess that I didn't even fucking know it had happened until afterwards.
I don't blame you. Yeah. And then of course you're right. Then suddenly like Kanan's love, they cut his bonds. Oh, Kanan, you're great. We love you. Oh, you're amazing. And like they do a 180 on Kanan. They're like a few scenes ago, they're beating the shit out of him. We don't trust you.
They go from like we hate Kanan to like Kanan is awesome. Just like in no time flat. It's not a gradual process. It's just like we hate you, we love you. That's it.
Yeah, they bring the bear back to the village. Everyone's like, we've defeated the threat. We defeated the threat. It's great. There's no more threat. And
here's the weird thing. Kanan knows that the bear is not the threat, that there's a monster out there.
But goes along with it for a while.
But he never tells anyone this until he's just like talking to the girl. Like 20 minutes later, he's like, by the way, the monster's still out there. It's like, why didn't you tell anyone else this shit?
Because the movie has so much, it's a bunch of filler, dude.
The whole time that they hate him, he's like, there's a monster. But then as soon as he wins their trust, he's like, he just gets mum about it. It's like they would actually believe you now. They like you now. Like, now's the time to emphasize these guys. Look, I know we killed this bear, but this is not what was there the other night. Trust me, there's a creature way more imposing than this.
Yeah, let's forget about it. You know
He's
what?
just like, nah, let them.
You know what
let
they'll
them have their
instead?
fun. Let them think they killed the monster.
Yeah, they decide to have a feast. That obviously doesn't really advance the story at all. Like it just to further serve like, Freya's fallen in love with Kanan, and then inexplicably they have this weird scene in the dance hall. Everyone's like, shields.
Oh my god, dude! How do I keep forgetting about that?
Shields.
They're like, let us play a game, and then the game, I guess, is everyone holds up their shield, and you walk on top of the shields. And I don't know how you win or lose, but
you don't. I guess you don't. It's whoever has like doesn't. I think it's whoever stays up the longest.
Sure,
you win.
That's the game, and it's quite a romp.
And it somehow proves that like, oh, dude, and they like at the end of each, like it's Wulfric and Kanan. And like Wulfric's hits the point like, could do this, and he does some crazy triple flip and like lands on a shield. It's like, yeah, all right,
Wulfric is cool.
All right, Kanan, now you do that. And it's like, well, it was established this guy could just like do acrobatics out of nowhere, and he just does another. He does like a triple flip himself. It's like boom, he lands on a shield, and I guess it's like an attempt at a comedic moment. The shield breaks and he falls to the ground. It's like, oh, and Wulfric's like, I puts his hand out. You have my respect. I'm gonna pull you up. You're fucking great, man. Yeah, I should probably be telling you guys about your like the existential threat you still face, but yeah, let's play a shield game.
And then they're attacked by
Morwen. No, not Morwen. Now it is the other village attacking suddenly.
Yeah. So
before they're like, it's Gunnar. It's Gunnar attacking us.
Yeah. So freaking Gunnar, played by Ron Perlman, shows up and starts, I don't know, attacking the village. And then, do you remember for some reason, in the middle of the fight, it's just declared like, we've lost, retreat. And like,
okay, I figured that one out too, because I've watched it twice.
Wait, okay, so explain to me in a second. Let me tell the audience first, and then you can explain to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
But my impression watching the movie is, we've lost, retreat, or whatever, and then everyone runs, and you can see there's like, he's still got pretty much his whole army. I'm like, how have you decided that you've lost at this point? I don't get it. Well, but Scotty apparently saw the solution, so
I can tell you what I think they were going for in the scene. So Gunnar attacks, they sneak in, they push the gates open, they're fighting, so Jim Caviezel's character Kanan basically saves the king Hrothgar, the John Hurt character. Like, right. Gunnar's like, oh, I've got you. He's broken. His shield is broken. He's like, oh, basically like this on the ground. Kanan pushes him down. Oh, no, you can't kill the king. I'm going to save the king's life for a second time. I've saved the king twice in a day, pretty much. I'm badass. And then you see what I think is implied to be like another force from the people of the village. Like you see more villages running up to like defend it. And then they're like, oh, shit, retreat. That's what I think they were going for, was to show like overwhelming force, but it's so confusing. It doesn't really look like that because the way they basically edit it together, it kind of just looks like they retreat out of nowhere.
Yeah, it basically just looks like he advances in with this big army, and then for no reason whatsoever, they just decide like, well, we lost. Let's get out of here, guys.
Yeah, he
and they still got his whole army. It's like your forces haven't been decimated. I haven't seen anything that like, whoa, they got the fortification up, so now we got to go. Or, they're bringing out the catapult. I don't know. There was just nothing.
They run off and they camp nearby the village. Like, we're going to regroup and attack. We're going to figure out how to attack and stuff. But then the Morwen shows up, starts picking them off. They do a fake out death for Ron Perlman's character. Like, he hits it with both his hammers, which have been established. Like, these hammers are pretty much unstoppable. And they just bounce right off, like, do nothing. It's like, oh, he's dead. The fucking Morwen got him.
Which, by the way, later the girl just kicks the monster. And it's like, oh. Like somehow like her little kicks do more than his giant hammers do, but whatever.
Yeah, they don't do shit.
Maybe she kicked the baby monster, because I forgot to mention that at a certain point they reveal that there's two monsters. There's like a mommy and a baby.
There's the baby Morwen.
The baby one, I mean, it's totally I don't even get it. It's totally pointless, but
it's just to have another baddie in there for them to fight. So they start getting picked up by the Morwen, camped outside. So Gunnar and his crew run back, please.
Which, by the way, he just literally made a speech like 2 minutes before this of like, If I have to my dying day, I will oppose you, king. Blah blah
I will
blah.
carve your rotten
will
heart
kill
out.
you because you killed my family and da da da. And then like all that stuff is just like that's totally meaningless. That's forgotten because now we got to fight the monster together.
Well, because they, I guess you could say, well, they realized now it wasn't them; it was this monster.
But there's
so now
some kind of like. Shouldn't there have been some kind of intense scene between John Hurt and freaking Ron Perlman where they like explore that like you killed my like they have to come to some kind of like there's no resolution to that. It's just like that's forgotten. We're fighting a monster now,
and pretty much they really just defer to John Hurt's character at that point as the king. It's just like okay, yeah, because now you were telling the truth. Obviously, we're just gonna do whatever the plan is, and it's like. Well, how can we? Oh, we already tried hunting it. What can we do? And they're like, you know what we can do? We're gonna build a trap. We're gonna build a fucking trap, and that's how we're gonna defeat the monster.
That pissed me off. It's like we can't hunt it. Like they're like we should hunt it, and then he's like you can't be hunted, and they're like oh well, what do you suggest? Like we should trap it. It's like trapping is part of hunting, douchebag. What?
I know.
What are you talking? What?
So they basically build a giant pit. And they fill it with a bunch of oil. They basically use themselves as bait. They wait for nightfall.
I'll be honest with you. This is around the time in the movie when I got up to like make a snack and barely looked at the screen. And then just when I sat back down, I was just like, I miss anything? And they're like, nah.
Yeah, they build a giant trap. They lure the Morwen in. They do another death fake out. It's like, oh, he's gonna kill Wulfric because he falls in the oil. Oh, but he somehow, of course, last second gets out. Fire! They shoot their flame arrows in. You're like, oh, there's a huge explosion. Like, oh, the Morwen's defeated. That's it. But then, like TJ was talking about, in the Great Hall, they have where all the women and children are like huddling away. Like, oh, little baby Morwen pops out. Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up too. I'm gonna get you too. And that's when, of course, John Hurt's character runs. Like he runs in. Oh, he has his lame off-screen death. They don't actually kill the monster, so the trap is a failure. Like a bunch of more villagers get killed. They try to stab it and hit it. They can finally do some damage.
And then, Ron Perlman's character is like decapitated on the way out.
Oh, dude, what an afterthought death.
Just like, I mean, Ron Perlman's character arc in this movie is literally like he attacks. He makes a speech about how he will never forgive the king and how he will kill the king one day.
Forgives him immediately.
He forgives the king immediately as soon as there's a monster. And then he's decapitated by the monster. Why did you need Ron Perlman for that?
And not even head on. Not even like he doesn't even get a cool scene when the monster like rears up and like chops his head off. Like there's a lame tail that flies, like CGI tail that flies out.
Like, he doesn't even get like an epic death. He just like is quickly decapitated while the monster's running away. It's like might as well cut this guy's head off, I guess. And then it just runs. It's like, and then no one even fucking mentions him again after that. No one's like Gunner or anything. It's just like. I guess he's dead now.
Well, he's dead. And Hrothgar, John Hurt's character at this point, he's killed too. He's killed defending Freya in the hall. The monster was about to kill her, but he gave his life.
Dude, and how dumb were they to fucking kill John Hurt and Ron Perlman in the same scene of the freaking movie and leave us only with Jim Caviezel and whatever that chick's name is.
Freya and Wulfric. That's all we've got left at that point.
And it's like they are the blandest ones by far.
And dude, you would think, because like at that point they're like, what are we gonna do? They send the villagers away, and it's like, hey, you know what? Our weapons like suck. So maybe we should go back and get some of that metal from your ship that's actually good, and maybe like that can kill the monster. It's like, no shit, dude. This is forgotten. He has a fucking advanced ship.
Then it's like they don't. They get this metal from the ship. He just brings it up, and it's like you're looking at it, and like, how the hell is this blacksmith who has never seen this metal before
instantly able to work it?
Instantly know everything he needs to do to like make a sword out of it. Like that's insane.
He does, and he forges the fastest sword in history. It's like you literally see him like here's he knocks on the metal. The next scene is him hammering it, and then it's like
you could watch an episode.
Let me quench it.
He fucking made that sword quicker than you could watch an episode of Forged in Fire. Like they literally just give him the metal, and then like he comes back. Like it was like I fucking waited longer at Baskin Robbins than this dude waits for his sword. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he immediately forges a sword. It's like, we're gonna get this thing. And you know what they find out? They're like, oh man, we found where the monster lives. We found its lair. It's in the well. the well of the town. It's like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. You've got to be kidding me. And this is at this point where this is Act 3. We're at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this part. It sucks just like the rest, but
it's yet more really confusing action sequences. They're kind of being hunted, and it's a hunter versus the hunted.
Captures the princess at one point, and she's in this like pile of
that's right. We need to go back
body parts and
so
stuff.
When they dive down to go get the medal, he comes back up, and Wulfric's like, ugh. It's like Freya's gone. It's like, okay, so now we have a damsel in distress situation.
Right. She's literally gone from tough warrior chick at the beginning to now just complete damsel.
Yeah. And it's implied there's like this pit where the monster lives and shit. Like, oh, where could it be though? You never know. And of course, it's beneath the town, conveniently, and a waterfall.
Yeah.
It's an action spectacle. They're trying to kill like the baby one and stuff. And
they fight the monster, and that's just it. They just kind of fight it and fight it and fight it until eventually they kill it. And that's it. I mean, is there anything to really talk about in those scenes?
They said the whole crew goes down there. They get picked off one by one until it's basically Freya, Wulfric, and Kanan. They come to its lair. They cut the little baby one's head off. She cuts the baby's head off as kind of like, see, it wasn't a total damsel in distress. Like, okay, whatever.
Right.
They have a cool.
Even though she clearly was. Yeah.
They have some cool waterfall shit. It's like, oh, it's a waterfall, but it's obviously in a horrible movie. They go out there. They're like, oh, our back is literally against the wall. And Wulfric, for some inexplicable reason, even though there's nowhere to run, it's like, save her, get away. And it's like, get away where? It's a sheer fucking cliff. Get away to where? You should be saying the path.
It's like,
drop to your death?
Where am I supposed to go, dude? Don't sacrifice yourself for this. There's nowhere to run to.
But he's a dummy, so he's like, oh, I was king. He gets killed. He gets to be king for a day.
Well, he doesn't get killed right then. He gets that like slow death so that he can still be around for like a conversation afterwards, like a brief like, you should be king, all this crap.
They do a little fake out death scare with Freya, but she's gonna be fine.
Right,
Jim Caviezel goes in there.
Gonna bang.
Yeah, Jim Caviezel goes in there. He's like, oh, it's like it's almost like what's that Bruce Lee movie? I can't remember it, but whatever.
The Dragon. I don't know.
It's the one where there's all the mirrors and stuff. It's like they're trying to do this like
Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Yeah, so it's like it's like a labyrinth basically. It's like, oh, she's in the cave. When's this thing gonna pop out and get him? And dude, it's gotta be literally the dumbest death for that monster possible. He's holding the sword and he's like, he blocks the thing, cuts off one of its little tentacles, and then he's standing looking at the sword, and he sees the monster's reflection, and he's like, "Ah, gotcha, bitch!" And he finally slays the Morwen. Oh, dude, that made no sense at the end too. So he stabs it, and it's like falling to its death because on this waterfall, and it's holding on to him and Freya, and it's like, this thing's huge. There's no way they would just drop to death.
His arm would have been ripped off by what was happening in that scene. Like
a giant beast being held on by two people.
Like something that's like almost as large as an elephant. Maybe even larger.
Well, yeah, roughly that size at least.
Well, anyway, it's a huge animal, and it's like basically like clawing onto the side of the cliff, and his arm is in between it. At the very least, if you want to say like it's gripping the cliff, not him, his arm would be broken by the sheer weight.
At the very least. Yeah.
At the very least, that should have been going on. But instead, it's almost implied that like the monster is hanging on to him and he is holding up the monster, but that doesn't make any sense. So
there's no way. Yeah. I mean, that's like you holding up an elephant from a cliff. You're not doing it.
He's not ever shown to be like superhuman strong or anything. He's like a dude. He's not.
He chops the monster's arm off, and the monster. I laughed at the monster's fall to its death because it's so long comedic, and it just holds on. It's like I was like, no, I'm dying. When am I gonna hit the ground? And then like, there's nothing. There's no explosion. There's no splat. It's just like it fell into the water. It's like, well, how do you know that killed it?
I think they were trying to leave it open for a sequel. To be honest with you.
They don't need to bother with that.
That's some wishful thinking. I think they just didn't want to show it definitively die, so that if by some miracle it actually made money, they could make another one. But like, that was some ultra wishful thinking, dude.
Yeah, that's beyond wishful thinking. That's like delusional, psychotic. They need to be institutionalized thinking. And of course they go. Dude. Then Wulfric's there died. Oh, I was king for a day, but now you will be king. Yay!
But then he's like, I must go back to my people. And so he goes out to where there's this beacon that's been going off the whole time.
What the fuck? Why do you need to wait for the beacon? Like, let's wait for reinforcements.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, first of all, like, hey, why don't you get your alien buddies down here to help you kill this thing with your advanced alien weaponry?
Nah.
But second of all, he just seems to magically know, like, yeah, now's the time when the ship is going to show up to get this beacon or whatever. And so the ship is arriving just at that moment conveniently. It's not like he's communicated with it. The beacon's been going off this whole time.
Right.
I guess he brings it to a higher point, so maybe the implication is that, like, it wasn't reading it until he did that. I don't know. But anyway, the ship enters the atmosphere of the Earth and is, like, almost to him. And then he decides, you know what? No, I'm going to stay here. I like it better here. And he smashes the beacon, and the ship just immediately is like, oh, never mind then, and just takes off.
Because they cheaped out on CGI, dude. It was like they showed the ship as basically lights. You see some lights in the distance that implies a ship. They don't even go down there like, what happened? Like, why'd the beacon stop suddenly?
Yeah, like, if let's say you're an alien, and your job is, let's go check out this beacon because this dude might still be alive down there. And you're at the planet pretty much. You're right there in the atmosphere, and you're about to land, and then the beacon stops transmitting. Would you at that moment just be like, oh, well, I guess he's dead, and just fly away?
Apparently in this movie, yeah. It's like, you know what?
Apparently that's the procedure.
I'm not really that curious about what happened. I'm sure he's dead. The beacon probably just got deactivated right now because he's officially dead.
Yeah.
See ya.
Well, the beacon was destroyed, so yeah, officially we're just leaving because no point. No point even looking down there. Now, I guess maybe if you really want to be very nice to this movie, you could say that they didn't want to go down there because they're just like, the Morwin's trapped on this planet. Fuck that. Why are we going to fuck with it? He's probably dead. Let's just fucking cut our losses. The most generous thing you could say
is they spotted him with their ship's like sensors or something, or like they had a view screen they could see him, and it's all like, oh, he smashed it. He must not want us to come get him. I guess we'll just
smashed the beacon. I think. Yeah, like they would just think like, oh, he's sacrificing himself because, you know, he's kept them. He's willing to be trapped down there with it because he knows that it's better it be isolated here on this planet where it can't hurt any more of us or whatever.
Yeah, you know, that's like the most generous thing.
But like that's you doing heavy lifting to fix the shit the movie just was too dumb to explain.
And it keeps going on. After the Morwin's defeated, like there should pretty much be a scene. If you really want to do another scene, it's like show them getting married, and it's like, and the little kid can run up and be like, are you staying? Like, you betcha, sport. And it's like, yeah, that could be the end. But this movie goes on for like 10 or 12 minutes, even maybe 15 after the Morwin is defeated. And it's like, we don't care. Just let the movie be over with. Like, why is it still going? Like, we get it.
Dude, this movie,
what happened here?
This movie is an hour and 55 minutes long. And if there's ever been a movie that's
insane runtime for this movie.
Right. And I mean, like, it doesn't sound like much. But if you start watching this movie, you will realize really quick that an hour and 55 minutes of this thing is
it's like 4 hours.
Grueling. It's grueling. You will literally be checking the time an hour. I mean, the first time I checked the time to see like how much of this is there left was about 55 minutes in, and I would have swore.
God.
I would have swore I was approaching the end. I wasn't even halfway point yet, and I was just like, oh my God. If there's ever been a contender for a movie to be 90 minutes long, it's this thing.
That's why it's in the running for worst movie ever. That's why it's on the show, dude, because it is that bad. If it's a movie you have to go and stop over and over again, you know it sucks. Because a good movie, you're on your edge of your seat basically until the end, and it's like, oh, it's over. Here's
the thing. I'll be productive with my criticism of this thing. I'll tell you everything that could have been done to make this movie actually work.
Okay.
First of all, cut out the Ron Perlman character entirely.
Yeah, that
entire subplot is completely pointless. There's no reason for it to even be there. It's useless to the story. It means nothing. You don't lose anything important.
Cut out Shields.
Yeah, cut out that ridiculous scene. Cut out get someone better than Jim Caviezel. Yeah, cut out the bear in the cave scene, or get a real bear, or get a CG bear that looks halfway convincing. With your $47 million budget, wink, wink. And so Get a screenwriter with a sense of humor to do another polished pass of that script and give the characters some actual personality. Because you have the bare bones of a story, but you don't actually have any personality. Do that. If you're going to do a movie, and here's another thing, if you're going to do a movie about a guy from space who meets Vikings and hunts a monster, one, make him look, I don't know, somewhat alien. Give him some head ridges or something. Give him something anatomically different from a freaking human being.
Yeah, give him a costume. Give him something that
And
shows he's different.
make there be a purpose to him being a spaceman by maybe he has like a bunch of cool technology that these Vikings have never seen before. Maybe they think he's like from Valhalla or something. I don't know.
Imagine Evil Dead 3 if it was like, oh, my shotgun breaks immediately. I can't use it against the Deadites. It's like, what the fuck is like, dude, no humor in this movie. Like,
so here's another thing. Either give the monster a non-sympathetic story.
Yeah, it's evil.
Or have it pay off in some way. Have him realize like I'm the real monster. This thing's just trying to live. Or whatever, and have him do something like to preserve its life, maybe even sacrificing himself in the process because he realizes that actually he's morally wronged this thing.
But
or
then it's
don't
not the
give the
happy
monster
ending.
a sympathetic backstory, or have him be an asshole that doesn't care. Like, yeah, we did fucking take you. We did exterminate your race, and I'm here to finish the job. You know,
dude,
he's just totally unrepentant about it.
The blobfish dragon, which was I call.
But don't bring up this sympathetic backstory and then just do nothing with it.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
dude.
Scotty. Sorry to interrupt.
When they're fighting against the blobfish dragon, which is what I basically consider the monster to be.
I mean, we never did talk about how the monster looks, which, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like, to me, it's bad CGI, but it's not bad enough to really complain too much about. It's honestly one of the better things in this movie. And honestly, there are some things about the monster's design that look okay here and there. Like, I do like the way that they use that it can light up its body and stuff with red. I think that's kind of a cool effect. But it was done really weird and inconsistently.
There's a lot of homage, I would say, to Predator in here. I hate to use the word homage, but like the blood of the aliens was that green. So obviously Predator was definitely an influence.
I mean, it rips off Predator. It rips off Alien. It's fucking loosely based on Beowulf. So it
is, yeah.
So that's, it rips off that.
Super derivative.
Oh, by the way, I think I finally found an adaptation of Beowulf that I hate more than the 13th Warrior. So there you go.
Oh, great. You finally have found one that you hate more.
I have to tell you, you know what? I'm willing to officially apologize to the 13th Warrior. I've talked a lot of shit over the years about the 13th Warrior, but you know what? I didn't realize how fucking good I had it. Because you know what? The 13th Warrior, as bad as it is, at least
makes some sense.
Yeah, like it makes sense.
The characters have
character and personality.
Bonafide.
I mean, I still think it's like a pretty tepid movie, and I don't think it's very engaging with its audience, and I don't think the characterization is great, but at least it's there.
Yeah. This one though, it just.
Yeah, I mean, so this movie,
it misses everywhere. It misses with plot. I mean, you have a decent cast.
How'd you fix it? Because I think
number one,
90 minutes, ditch Jim Caviezel for a better actor, cut the entire storyline with fucking that Ron Perlman.
Convince Carl Urban to actually be in the movie. Get decent,
or find someone who's hey, is there no one out there that's like a struggling, hungry young actor that you could get for this? You already have John Hurt and Ron Perlman for marquee value. So why not just cast like someone who's maybe like an up and comer in that role that could maybe do something with it? You know
what I would have done with Ron Perlman's character if I was in charge of the movie? I would have it. The village is like about to get to like the Morwen's about to win. It's like, oh shit. And then his character shows up and you're like, it's Gunnar. And it's like, what is he going to do? And they help him. And it's like, you establish like our village was attacked. And if we came here to attack you, but instead we see this creature.
Or here's a cool idea. Since you have a scene where Gunnar is literally pledging that he will do anything to kill the king, maybe the monster hears that and understands it. Because it's an intelligent creature, right?
And, it's like,
and we've already established that, like, so maybe it fucking unites with him. Maybe it's like, hey, you help me and I'll help you, and like the human and the fucking monster form an alliance.
Too creative, dude. Like everything in this movie
I mean,
just
that's
felt
not
like
the
it
way
had.
I'd go with it, by the way, but that's just a more interesting thing you could do if you actually want to keep the character
I'll
around.
tell you what I would go with it. If someone gave me the script, I would fucking find a fireplace and toss it in. That's where I would have gone with it personally.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why I wouldn't do that. Because the thing that really sucks about a mediocre movie is that you see all of the opportunities to do something good. Like the concept of a fucking futuristic space alien with advanced technology lands on Earth in the Viking Age hunting a monster, and he bands together with the Vikings and gives them some of his technology and stuff, and they go fight a monster together. Like, that's not a fucking fundamentally terrible idea.
Well, yeah, but if you have the technology angle on it, see, that's the problem, is that it was all just like primitive shit. It was all just like it's all Norse. It was all Viking. He didn't really bring enough,
which made it feel like the sci-fi elements were just completely unnecessary.
Pasted on in the beginning, and like everything in this movie just felt tacked on. It's like
if you're gonna do like, that's the thing that really just sucks about this movie. I think you really hit the nail on the head, because the premise of the movie is sci-fi meets Viking
meets horror,
and it doesn't
action,
and it doesn't deliver on that shit. It just doesn't even give you that at all. It gives you like the slightest little hint of that. Like, how can you take such a cool, intriguing concept that you could have all kinds of fun with and just decide to have no fun with it? They literally, the movie, the problem with the movie is basically summed up by him taking out his gun, shooting a tree to show us how cool the gun is, and then it immediately falls into a river and is never in the story again. It's like, that's the whole freaking problem with this movie. That gun was symbolic of, hey, this cool idea we have. Spaceman meets Viking. Oh, it's in the river. It's gone. That's the fucking experience of watching this piece of shit.
I mean, I just think that I think the screenwriters felt like, well, if they have the cool tech, then the whole conceit is, well, then why would it be difficult to defeat the monster? It's like,
then make the monster tougher. You can do whatever you want with the monster.
Yeah, the monster's shielded. The monster, already has invisibility. There's all kinds of stuff you can do to make that monster way tougher. The monster has a brood. It's like, oh, these things reproduce themselves. Like, what do you mean? It's like, and then like 50 little baby monsters like spring out, start attacking. Like,
yeah, have there be more than one. I mean, you can change the nature of the threat. Like, you should have had Vikings like swinging like crazy, like augmented axes that can like, it could shoot a laser from the handle, but then it can like, I don't know, it's like electricity on the blade and like, or an energy blade or something.
Because they didn't want to put the money into it. $47 million, my fucking nutsack, dude. $47 million in a Hollywood accounting, or basically
I am convinced that there was a scam run.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is padding your pocket. This is 100%.
Some producer somewhere latched onto this project and was just like, wow, there's a $47 million budget for this.
Shit was really hot in this time. I mean, Viking shit's always kind of hot.
Let's bring this in at the lowest budget possible and pocket the fucking difference, basically. And we'll do some shady Hollywood accounting to keep, and that's just like, this movie was made for some kind of tax purposes or something, because it is lousy.
Yeah, I want to show you this stuff before we wrap it up here. I think you'll enjoy this. Put it on the screen here. No, not. Yeah, dude. Here we go. Outlander, 1 year ago, was surprisingly great. For various reasons, this film never got a wide distribution. No, it's because it's a fucking mishmash nightmare.
Dude.
Only played in a few markets, then went to DVD. Yeah, it was almost essentially a straight to DVD. It got a small theatrical
You might as well be reading to me right now a review that's like, thin gruel, surprisingly satisfying meal. It's like, you're an imbecile. I mean, I'm sorry, but I know I shouldn't get hateful towards another person just for liking a piece of media I don't. I recognize that as a mature fucking person. But on the other hand, fuck this guy and his entire genetic line. You're a piece of shit for liking this movie, dude. What is wrong with you? Like, honestly, you think I'm insulting you? You're insulting yourself by publicly admitting that you could find anything of value in this tepid fucking dreck, my friend. You insult yourself by publicly declaring your affinity for this absolute trash.
Also 59 upvotes, which is a real shame because it's pretty great. It's about an alien who crash lands on Earth during Viking times, starring Jim Caviezel, The Last Temptation of Christ, with a big role from John Hurt, Alien. The cast is great. I agree, John Hurt's great. The production values are
fine,
fantastic.
I guess.
No, this is bullshit.
Dude,
besides the set, I'll tell you what, the actual sets, the practical sets they built were actually pretty fucking cool. The village itself and the walls and stuff, you could tell was not CGI crap. That was cool, but totally wasted on this movie. Completely wasted on this movie.
Dude, yeah, I mean, they built some sets.
And we talked about this. The movie plays like a mashup of Predator, 13th Warrior, and Beowulf. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's got a horror element to it. I mean, barely. Turn R rating, but nothing over the top.
When I read that there was a horror element, there wasn't until the very, very end of the movie that I felt like there was any horror elements at all. And
you like this, TJ? The one comment, I think I own this on Blu-ray. I enjoy these types of movies. It's right up there with the 13th Warrior. An alternate twist on an old legend. Kind of sucks you said that, made that statement now, though, because then it's like, oh shit, like before I was like, TJ hates the 13th Warrior, but
I still hate it, but like, I think look, if I was given my choice of like watching either of those movies, like again, I would watch the 13th Warrior again easily.
I've watched the 13th Warrior probably like 5 or 6 times in my life.
I do not like the 13th Warrior.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't say I love it, if I'm being honest, but I definitely like it. But Roger Ebert, he was more generous. Vikings versus aliens in a clash of genres. 2 stars.
I feel like these people are they must just like the concept or something, because the production values are not good. The screen, I've already outlined what's not good about it. I don't feel like I need to reiterate, but like, I don't understand. RogerEbert.com. Is this an actual Ebert review?
Yes, he actually reviewed this. Yep, look.
Okay, gotcha. So what does he say? I can't really read it. It's a little small. Maybe make it a little bigger for me. Their love flowers against the backdrop of an Arthurian romance. The Morwen is the dragon, of course, and much depends on a sword mighty enough to pierce its armor, to forge this Excalibur. Canaan divine. I don't care. This is just whatever to me.
The climax involves usual violent and incoherent special effects scenes. Okay, we agree.
Yeah, fair enough.
After which Hrothgar gives Canaan the hand of his daughter, and Canaan and Freya, presumably retired, discovery of separate evolutionary paths, have outfitted them with compatible fixtures. Oh, gotcha. Because he's an alien. I get it. Outlander is it interesting as a collision of genres? Wrong. The monster movie meets the Viking saga. Ugh. I just don't really agree. I don't find it to be an interesting collision of genres. I find it to be an inept, rudderless attempt at that. And much like the beginning of the movie, the ship crash lands, this movie crashes and burns hard.
Yeah, I feel like no part of me can enjoy this. The snobbier part of me that wants something of higher quality can't enjoy it because it's just not delivering on that technical
the schlock part of you.
And the schlocky part of me is just like, wow, so many missed opportunities for cool shit.
Yeah, it takes itself way too seriously as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, if this movie was like goofy fucking sci-fi fun, then I could get with it. If this movie was like some kind of like profound meditation with like really surprisingly subtle performances and shit, I could get with it. But since it's just like this middle of the road shit with just like bland characters, a terrible script, and just like bargain basement like level production values and all this, it's like, to me, there's nothing to hook me into this. I just watch it in misery for the entire time. Like if I was honest with you,
there's so much that tries to hook you in though. Like I think that's why you have this
movie off. I would have turned this movie off after fucking 2 minutes, dude. This would have been like a 2-minute, I'm out. If you hadn't made me watch this, and I did not enjoy anything that followed.
This actual end part does confuse me. You have to give it credit for carrying the premise to its ultimate, if not logical conclusion. No, I don't, because I don't feel like it did. It occurs to me, however, that the Morwen had legitimate reasons to be grieved. No shit, he destroyed their whole fucking home world. First, Canaan's race appropriated the Morwen planet for its own purposes. Yeah, they're greedy. Then it massacred the Morwens. Now it's picking off Survivor. You think genocide or colonialism are concepts to be found in the Outlander? In Outlander, not a chance. That's because Canaan is so human, and the Morwens are just not our sort.
Yeah,
I'm confused, highly confused to end the review with that.
I think he's saying that, this movie brings up this interesting idea and then does absolutely nothing with it. And basically, you have an alien that's basically just a human being. So there's really nothing alien about the alien. And then you have this other alien that's like portrayed as a monster, but then given a sympathetic backstory, but then not treated sympathetically in any way ever, for the rest of the film.
And actually still pretty much just vilified until the end. Like honestly, giving a sympathetic backstory doesn't really make any sense in this movie. Especially with
that's what I'm saying. Like they either needed to not do that, or they needed to do that and then address it, or in some way, even if they want to be like, we don't care about your sympathetic backstory, then have the hero not care. Have the hero be like, yeah, we might have provoked this thing, but to be honest, I just don't care because I just think they're pieces of shit.
Yeah, we don't deserve it. We did what we did, and look, they have to accept it. And this thing is still evil, and it's still hunting innocent people. Look, these people on Earth never did anything to this Morrowind, so just on that basis alone, it's wrong.
Right. So but it's just never addressed. It's like, why have that backstory for this thing if it's never going to be addressed in any way?
Yeah, just make it an evil monster. Give it no explanation. Just be like, we do not know where it comes from or why it hunts us. It doesn't matter.
This movie is just a collection of missed opportunities.
All right,
is what it really
so
boils down to.
TJ,
yeah,
time to ask the question of the show. The premise of the show: is it the worst movie ever?
Probably not.
I'd say no.
No, I would say it's probably not.
It's pretty spectacularly bad. Worst movie of all time, though. I gotta be honest with you.
To my recollection, I've seen 3 versions of the Beowulf story. I've seen The 13th Warrior. I've seen the Robert Zemeckis Beowulf, and I have seen this. And of those 3, this is the worst of those.
Oh, easily. And Beowulf, Robert Zemeckis Beowulf is not even that good. I'd probably put the 13th Warrior, Beowulf, then this.
I would say I like the Beowulf movie a little better, but I've never seen a version of this story where I was like, whoa, I get it. So maybe I just don't vibe with the narrative or whatever. But at the same time, this is definitely the worst one. It's not even it's no contest. It's the worst one of those.
Interesting premise.
It may be the worst Viking movie I've seen. I'm trying to think if I've seen a worse Viking. I'm sure there are worse Viking movies. I'm trying to think if I've seen a worse Viking movie.
I don't think I've seen a worse one. I'm sure they, like you said, exist, but none come to mind.
Have I seen worse monster movies? Probably.
Oh yeah,
I can't think offhand what they might be because this one is pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not the worst. It's like I said, in most respects, pretty much mediocre, which is a miserable slog to watch. But there's definitely things that are done competently. There's nothing that's done great, but there's things that are done competently.
And like we said, that's almost the worst thing because it's lukewarm. It's a lukewarm movie. It's like, oh, you want a nice hot bath? Nah. You want a cold bath? Oh, definitely not. How about a lukewarm?
Well, the thing that's kind of hard to answer about your question, to be honest with you, is if I was to watch the worst movie ever, I think I would enjoy it more than this. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting point.
So it's like, do I want just so like when I'm appraising these, this is the thing I always come up to when I'm trying to do any sort of media criticism stuff. Do I rate it based on enjoyability, or do I rate it based on like merit, whatever that might be, whatever my mind intellectually susses out as merit for the project?
Seeing as those are so subjective, I think you have to really, I think personally, if you're doing media criticism, you have to, I think, err on the side of how much did I enjoy this movie?
All right.
How much did I enjoy this entertainment property?
Well, then, honestly, maybe it is the worst movie ever. I don't know. It's definitely bad.
Well,
if I'm basing it sheerly on entertainment value and not trying to actually deconstruct it artistically, then I would say it is one of the more miserable times I've had watching a movie. It's definitely a contender.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the worst, but that remains to be seen. There is a movie that frightens me, but I'm not going to mention it now because if I do, it might I would say it might what would you call it? It might poison the well. It might end up inadvertently becoming
well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I just thought of a movie that's definitely worse.
Oh, I know one that's worse.
Well, I know one that's worse too.
I don't know if we should say it yet because
we tried to watch it before. Are you thinking about the one we tried to watch before?
Yes. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's not bring it up yet. I want to save that for a different episode.
We can edit it out if we don't want to fucking bring it up.
The Love Guru.
Oh, no, I was thinking of a different movie.
Oh shit, what were you thinking of?
But you know what? The Love Guru is worse than this, though.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I was thinking of was Egghead's fucking Families movie, dude.
Oh my god, no, that is yeah, that's
Dude,
that
remember,
might
we couldn't get through it. It's the only other movie to defeat us beside The Love Guru.
okay, but that one was obscenely long and obscenely bad.
Oh my god, it was worse. Oh my god, like I don't even know what to talk about that. But anyway, hey, if you guys have any movies you want to that have, I'm sure that you guys out there in the world have experienced movies where you just like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. If you've ever watched a movie that you just detest and hate to the very core of your being because it's so stupid, so boring, so whatever, let us know in the comments because we will consider that thing. And if you want to really kind of whet our appetites, maybe give us a little more info about it. Don't just tell us the title. Maybe tell us like a little bit about why it's so bad so that we can like maybe get a little whet our appetite a little bit for it.
We'll look at the top ones and
I'll look at the bottom ones too, because you know what? Some of those bottom ones, that'll be people who are finding stuff that undiscovered fucking turd nuggets.
But hey,
if you're in the world,
but even the top ones might be something we've never heard of, or you think is a contender. So let us know. Just comment.
Yeah, we're searching for the worst movie of all time.
Name of the movie, and like I said, if you sell us, it might be the next episode. Guys, thanks for watching. Of course, subscribe, like, share, all that crap. Do all the stuff you're supposed to do. Go to Tomatons.
Amen.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
Engage meaningfully with our content. Goodbye.